You know what it is, black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy. You know who it is, black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy. Ode, Mari, sturdy, Mari,
Mari sturdy, Mari sturdy.
black and sturdy, black and sturdy.
Black and sturdy, black and sturdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy, black and sturdy. It's the Black and Sturdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
Hello!
How is everybody doing today on another day where we're doing the podcast? Welcome to the Black and Sturdy podcast, the only podcast where two black sexy nerds come together, hang out, talk about bullshit, just do all of the things.
All the things.
All the things. Oh, look at that. Look who's here.
Hi, Mommy.
Yeah, she's referred to you as a twin.
Yes, because we look exactly alike.
Y'all do look alike. I will give you. You know how you can see, I can see. Having met both your parents, I could see a lot of your mom in you.
Yeah.
More than your dad.
Yeah, my sister, all my other siblings have my dad's face.
Mm-hmm.
I have my mom's face, and then I think Amara. I feel like Amara has a mixture because Amara looks a lot like my cousin. Ellen. So she has kind of my mom's face, by proxy a little bit.
Okay.
But you know what? You're also your dad.
A spitting image of my dad.
It's copied and pasted.
Yeah. Just I'm a little bit lighter than him.
A little bit, tiny
Yes.
bit.
Not in sense of humor. I'm very sardonic in that regard. We might not be ready, actually.
We are ready.
Do we have the questions?
We are ready in spirit.
Yes, we are. We are ready in spirit. For those of you who are just tuning in to the first time, or for the first time, thank you for that heart. Greatly appreciate it. And, we're just two friends who get together on a weekly basis to just shoot the shit. Just talk about what's going on in media, and we check in with our own personal mental health journeys, and we have a
guest today.
And we have a guest today. This is one of the weeks where I'm watching Evelyn's dog Cookie.
Hi, Cookie.
Hello there. Obviously the dog does not have a voice. In my mind, she sounds like one of those gruff New Yorkers who eat cigarettes for 20 years.
No.
And who works at a diner. Yeah, that's Cookie's voice. Talks like this, darling, has had numerous ex-husbands. Ex-husband number 7, Marcus. He was such a loving partner.
You think that's what she sounds like?
Yeah, that's exactly what Cookie sounds like. Maurice, get over here. I need to take a whiz that's only the size of a thimble.
All right, so we are now ready because I actually now have the cards.
Yes,
all right.
That sounds good.
Close your eyes.
Q&A with O&M. It's always going to be...
You don't know which one I'm
the
doing.
one that's the closest to me, because that's just how I operate.
All
Are
right,
you ready?
Pick one.
Okay, thank you. What is your favorite recipe? My mom has this recipe.
A recipe.
I told you, I'm going to be mixing up my words. I'm going to be abusing the English language.
You sure are.
And look, listen, full transparency, I have been under the weather the last few days, okay? I've been fighting a cold. It's not COVID. It's just sneezy and throaty and head spacey. That's what I've been under. But to answer this question, my mom has a really good recipe for... deviled eggs that I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. I don't have the recipe. That's something that I'm gonna have to get from her fairly soon. My mom's in good health, but she's also at that age now where a gust of wind can give her a bruise. So I need to get on it as far as recipe collections are concerned. Yeah, so that she can. I get, I don't have to wait until a holiday to get some deviled egg going on, What's your favorite recipe?
This is a tough one. Okay, well, this is not like my favorite overall, but I did recently try out a new recipe by Ina Garten for lasagna, and it was really good.
It did turn out that the one that you made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
I think the special ingredient in there was
It's goat milk
goat cheese.
or goat cheese, something.
Well, I had goat milk.
You've been talking about goats ever since you made it.
The goat cheese was really good, and it was a very surprising addition. I didn't think it was gonna do much because goat cheese is very creamy. It doesn't like melt the same way like a mozzarella or something does. But I loved it. I cannot wait to make it again. It was delicious, and yeah. So I feel like that's one I'm gonna add to my cookbook.
Yes.
All right. What was your favorite movie when you were young?
How young are we talking? Because like
it goes through stages.
Yeah, it goes through phases. I mean, I really liked Toy Story when it first came out. That was probably my favorite movie. I had a little Buzz Lightyear. No, toy.
Oh.
I had the
I
big
think I had
ass
a
Buzz Lightyear toy.
toy.
Yeah, that I would just wait up all night just to see pretend I was asleep to see if it would move around and do stuff. It didn't.
You never know. Maybe when you were sleeping, it was dancing around.
Yeah, but I couldn't, and it became hard to sleep with because it was such
so
a
hard.
it's not metal, it's hard plastic. It's
Yeah.
a toy that's made out of hard plastic, not conducive. It makes me wonder why Andy chose that fucking Buzz Lightyear toy over Woody.
Yeah, Woody would have been more comfortable.
Yeah, Woody is more comfortable to sleep with.
I think I had a lot of favorite movies growing up. I would say my mom always says the Velveteen Rabbit was one of the favorites.
Velveteen Rabbit.
Yeah, it's a book and also like a little kid's movie. It's probably like 20 minutes, but it's just about this kid who gets this little velvet rabbit, carries it around a lot, and sings about it all the time. Other than that, I would say The Jungle Book was definitely a part.
Did like the
Jungle Book.
That movie is plotless for
It is not
90% of its runtime.
It has a bunch of
Shere Khan doesn't even show up until like the last 20 minutes.
But we get him and we get
what kind of villain just shows up like when the movie's almost over?
He's
Just
a good
by
villain.
the way, we need to inject some danger into this.
The danger was always there.
The
'cause they were
danger
running
was
away from him.
always
There were so many other people. There was
Okay.
The apes were trying to steal Mowgli away.
Aristocats. Now that
that's
was
also a
also
good
a
one.
movie that was on my radar.
Another
That's a
one
good.
I would say also Dirty Dancing and Fifth Element. Still favorites.
These movies that
I
you
had
were
a
seeing
wa-
when you were a child.
Yeah, I had an eclectic taste.
It's okay.
I probably wasn't supposed to be seeing a lot of these.
Damn sure wasn't supposed to be seeing The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element was great.
Yeah.
It's still a great movie. It still holds up. And
I don't
can't
know
wait
if
to
it
watch
I don't know if
again.
it holds up.
It does.
Isn't that the one where Bruce Willis and that little girl?
What? No, not a little girl. She's like 20s. She's like a 21-year-old.
Is she?
She's not supposed to be little. She's an alien.
She hasn't had any interactions with society.
She's never had any interactions because she was a alien.
She has the mind of a
She just is very innocent because
child.
she has no awareness. But she took her 5 seconds to learn about
I don't
world
know.
history.
I don't know about that. I think that there's some potential problematic elements
Creepiness?
within the. I think that the problematic element is the fifth element. I think that is the fifth element.
Oh yes, I did forget Little Mermaid. I also love that one as well.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a good Disney movie. The
Yeah.
Lion King.
Poor unfortunate souls.
I mean, it's hard not to love them. Okay, great. So those are our questions. And now we're gonna get into our Black History Month fact. Okay, today in 1942, the Tuskegee Airmen were officially initiated into the United States Armed Forces and able to fight in World War II.
Nice.
If you don't know, the Tuskegee Airmen were the all black, mostly male. There were actually some women who worked as like, maybe not, they weren't pilots, but they were like nurses, or they were like mechanics and things like that. So it was a very diverse group of people. And these black folks came in fucked shit up, and got out of there.
There we go.
You know?
That's the way to do it.
And I feel like the thing about us is that even if we are fighting for a country that does not care about us, and they came back home and were still greatly oppressed.
Met with racism.
But they helped win the war. And we, salute them. One of my best friends, her...
I thought you were about to say one of my best friends is Tuskegee Airmen.
No, one of my best friends...
I wouldn't be surprised.
Her father or grandfather-in-law was a Tuskegee Airman. He passed about 2 years ago. But, it's great having that history and that legacy in your family. And Black people have always been great. So
yes,
learn more about the Tuskegee Airmen. There's lots of movies. There's that one that came out in like 90.
Red Tails.
Well, there's Red Tails. I'm not really talking. So okay, I'm not going to say anything bad about Red Tails. I personally did not watch it. Wasn't Terrence Howard in that movie?
Was he?
Or Cuba Gooding Jr. or something?
Was Chadwick in it?
No. Let me look. There were some people in that movie.
There was a stint when Chadwick was in everything.
He was in any movie about an old Black person. He was in the movie.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2012, the year we graduated.
Red Tails.
I didn't see that one, but I did see the original Tuskegee Airmen.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
It was Cuba Gooding Jr., but the original with Lawrence Fishburne that came out, or not?
And Terrence Howard. You're right.
Oh, okay.
And Neo.
Oh, Neo.
Neo was in it.
And
Leslie Odom Jr. and Michael B. Jordan. Okay. And Method Man. And Bryan Cranston.
Method Man?
Bryan Cranston
Who was Method Man in...
And Red Tails.
Red Tails. Look at him getting
He was probably the New York one. The one from Staten Island.
Okay, Cuba Gooding Jr. was in the original Tuskegee Airmen. That movie came out
Andre
in
Braugher
1995.
was in it.
And John Lithgow. That's interesting. Look at this whole cast of Black people.
Courtney B. Vance?
Go watch the original Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes.
It was a great movie. Lawrence Fishburne was in it. Andre Braugher, like we said, was in it. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Courtney B. Vance. A lot of heavy hitters in Hollywood.
Malcolm Jamal working.
He is now.
Yeah, he is. He has to.
He's not getting those checks anymore.
Yeah, sorry, being the narrator of Magic School Bus didn't turn out well.
Remember
Doing
that
a little
show
after specials.
Eddie Griffin?
Yeah, Malcolm and Eddie.
Malcolm and Eddie. That
Yeah.
was on for a few seasons.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised when all of the Black media started coming on Hulu and
We haven't gotten
HBO
that
Max that we haven't gotten Malcolm and Eddie. Malcolm and Eddie lasted for 4 or 5 seasons?
I feel like it had to have at least 3.
Yeah, look, if the Wayans brothers could be put up there in Black sitcom history, surely Malcolm and Eddie can.
Yeah. I mean, it was
a big hit for UPN at the time.
And exactly. And UPN, which is now at the CW,
Yeah.
they built their blacks on Black people's comedy.
Yes.
And significance, just like the rest of the world. All right, so are we ready to jump into our pop segment?
I believe we are.
Pop.
Okay, that's enough. I was trying to untouch it, so.
Touch it. Hello, Marilyn.
Marilyn.
So I tried to do this where we're gonna start off with the shenanigans, and then we're gonna. Sorry, the board fell. All right. We're gonna start
Malcolm
off
Jamal Warner does play a doctor now.
with the shenanigans.
He is
And then
a
we're
doctor
gonna
at New Amsterdam. Or some shit.
accused. It's not New Amsterdam. The guy from the Blacklist is on New Amsterdam. He's an accused with Michael Chiklis.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw him as a doctor.
He might be in New Amsterdam.
Hold on. Malcolm Jamal Warner is a doctor in something.
Okay, we're gonna start off with the shenanigans.
Yes.
And then we'll try. It's gonna try to go from worst to least bad. All right. So you know that comedian, Little Duval,
The Resident. That's where he plays a doctor in The Resident.
He's secure in the bags.
Hey.
So Little Duval. He's a comedian. He's very, I would say, outrageous, and usually does not hold back on what he's thinking or feeling, even if it's going to be very controversial. So I don't know what happened, but these tweets that he put out about, most of them were about 10 or so years ago.
Yeah,
came out.
back in the wild, wild west of Twitter where,
Yes.
like, people were just putting anything out there unchecked. I definitely started a few Twitter beefs with people from Potbellies, like, oh, for real, y'all, you just gonna scrimp on my... You're gonna scrimp on my meatballs? Let's just gonna give me 3 meatballs instead of the proper 4 or 5.
Well, some people have found...
Hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
People have found his tweets from 2023, or sorry, from 2012. And content warning, these are gross and weird, and they should have never been tweeted, but here we go. One of them says, whenever my daughter period starts, that's when I'm going to be the first dude to dog her out. So most of y'all saying...
Gross.
Y'all started thinking about sex at 11 or 12. Okay, cool. My daughter is moving in with me at 10. Hashtag Justin Bieber possessed fan. Hey, Justin, could you please rape me and my daughter, then hit me with a bat if I get out of line? And be real, fellas. If you fucked a girl and she has a daughter that you've seen grow up, would you fuck her when she grew up?
Yeah. It's, some of these are, not some of these, all of these are very wild things to say.
Inappropriate.
Let alone say on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Your daughter. I don't understand. I just don't understand. He's known for saying some really ridiculous, weird shit.
Does Lil Duval have like a comedy special?
I mean, he's not that good of a...
Yeah, I don't think he has like material.
I don't think he has
you
that
know.
much.
But yeah, I would say that some of these are wild.
All of them.
Yeah, no, all of them are wild. What most people tend to do is do a Twitter cleanup when they start to get famous. I think.
But he was already famous when he was saying these things.
Yeah, no, when he was saying that's
more...
how he got put on, was saying all of these things. But even as your star rises or like as you evolve, you go back and you clean shit up, you know? Because otherwise people go back and look at the wild shit that you were saying back in the day and are just like, ooh, that, you know, that's fucking crazy.
I think that like a lot of
disgusting taste.
The comedy from like when we were growing up, even till when we were in college, was very like weirdly raunchy.
I don't think he was in an accident, was he?
No, Tracy Morgan was in an accident.
You might be thinking of Tracy Morgan. He was in a car accident. Yeah, but Lil Duval.
I mean, I would hope so. Maybe if they could explain why he has such terrible taste in jokes, that would be, you know, a good reason. But I feel like people, like, they have not outgrown the rude and lascivious jokes that used to be made in the 90s. And the thing is that it's not just, I mean, all of those jokes he was making, I can't even put into a possibility of, like, those being okay, because it's just incest and rape jokes are just not funny, especially when they're coming from a man who has shown that he has no couth and is just a disgusting person in general. But just like, what was the reason? He hasn't said anything about these tweets. I'm sure he'll probably talk about cancel culture or try to make some homophobic or something joke about it. But like, he's a weirdo. And he's not funny. He's very rarely he was funny in that short period of time when there was a lot of black...
What, like Wildin' Out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Even then, I never really found Wildin' Out to be funny.
It had its moments.
I mean, it had moments.
It depending on who was in, like, the cast and stuff.
Wildin' Out was similar to me, like the Chappelle Show. I personally did not find it to be raucous comedy every week, much like SNL. I mean, there's a lot of these comedy... sketch shows that I just find...
You weren't a Whose Line Is It Anyway gal?
Actually, I liked Whose Line Is It Anyway. It's like, there were so many of them. Mad TV, loved it. Like, so many of these shows that were actually good. In Living Color. But I feel like a lot of these people, especially who have gotten famous over the weird stuff they say online and getting little jokes off, they seem to make that they seem to think that they're allowed to just not have any boundaries, and that's just not true. Like, what is it in comedy that you're not supposed to like punch down?
Yeah.
You know, like if it's a low blow, like that's not to me funny because that was didn't take you any creativity to think of something that was going to be gross to say to someone.
Yeah. That's why white people will always be a topic to laugh at.
It's true.
Because it's always punching up when you're making fun of white people.
Well, speaking of, I don't know if this would be considered punching.
Yeah, do the segue.
Punching down or punching up, but Chris Brown has gotten himself. There's a lot of Chris Brown news this week. I'm going to start off with the main thing. Chloe Bailey from Chloe and Haley, Destiny's granddaughter. She has a new song coming out called "How Does It Feel," and it's featuring Chris Brown. Now, when this came out that it was featuring him, there were a few people who were up in arms because Chris Brown has not been a picturesque celebrity. Not just because of the Rihanna incident when he was, 1920, but also the issues with
Sup,
Karrueche.
Leola?
Hello. The issues with Karrueche and the alleged abuse and stalking that happened there. There have been other women he has been with in the past who have also alleged him having creep and or violent behavior.
Chris Brown doesn't have a really good track record when it comes to dating or interactions with women, quite frankly.
And, I mean, remember when he threw the chair at Hoda at Good Morning America because she was asking him about Rihanna? I mean, he has an anger management issue, and also just in general, like we talked about him in the Grammys, he has an issue with like not knowing when to shut up.
Yes.
He
doesn't have friends.
He does not. He doesn't have friends.
He doesn't have a good circle of friends.
People who give him coke and other barbiturates and just let him jump around like a roach getting sprayed by Raid. And that's it, But people, of course, were a little bit up in arms about this. And one person in particular, from Cheetah Girls / 3LW fame, Miss No Promises herself, Keely Williams.
Dollars and dollars.
She chimed in on Twitter and said, let him come out. Well, she retweeted Chloe's post announcing her song, which I thought was weird because why am I in it? But she said, let him come out with his own record. So genius, so captivating that it makes us all forget he beats women. He can't, so he won't. So what does he do? Slowly creeps back into the mainstream by getting small nods for features on black women's merit, black women who are more talented, more worthy, but give him the okay. I'm swatting the fucking air right now. Garbage. So if you know Chris Brown, he does not shy away from ever responding to critiques.
Much like 50 Cent.
Much like 50 Cent. Like, yes. Chris Brown is definitely a troll. Anytime someone says something about him, whether they are a famous person or not, he is going to figure out a way to get his lick back.
Yeah.
So now he has been going on the tirade, posting now I will say some of the things he's posted about Keely where I did get a little bit of a chuckle because like Keely,
I'm looking at one now and it is a little funny.
She always was known as the girl in the group who had like just her pronunciation was not that great, and so the songs, like, people always joke about them, but he has been really capitalizing on that in his anger towards her. Apparently also she said that she got a train ran on her by B2K. He's been bringing that up a lot.
Wait, what?
I had never heard this, but I don't know if this was during that time when she was on that reality TV show recently. Maybe she let it slip. But she hasn't negated it. So, I mean, she's proud of it. So you can't really get down on somebody if something they
just imagine a DP with Omarion and Raspy.
No. Gross. Anyway.
Oh, they had her saying
No. And, okay, so anyway, they've been going back and forth. And it's just, Chris Brown has now decided he put out a Twitter or Instagram press release talking about, well, what about y'all always want to talk to me about what I did when I was a kid, but what about all these white men and white people who have been abusers or have, done all this
heads up,
stuff?
nobody likes Sean Penn, okay? You tried to get Sean Penn and Charlie Sheen out of here.
He had a whole list
They've been
of them.
already out of here. That motherfucker is just hanging around and soaking up 2.5 Men fucking checks.
Does he even get those?
Which I doubt, because everybody... Well, first off, both shows are terrible. But Big Bang Theory is the more marketable show over 2.5 Men.
Yes.
That show, 2.5 Men, was highly misogynistic.
It was.
And
the son,
and also Big Bang Theory is super
the
misogynistic
son
too.
went on to get go into some sort of weird cult. I don't know if it's a sex cult, but it's a cult.
No, I don't think it's a sex cult. It's just
One
he
of
got
those,
super
like,
duper into Jesus.
Latter-day Saints type of thing.
He got
But
super into it.
anyway, Chris Brown, just PSA for you. You and every other person out there who wants to bring up the crimes of white men when you also do a crime. I don't care. If a white person does a crime, I also want them to be whatever, held accountable, removed from their jobs or whatever. Like, you don't get a pass for being shitty just because white people also get passes. The issue is that everyone should be held accountable, not just a white person. Because if you do shitty shit, that's just it. You have to face the consequences of it.
Yes.
You don't get to not face them because a white person also did it. Not to say that, yes, there are plenty of white men in media who are able to bounce back, and there's no such thing as cancel culture for them. Yes.
Hulk Hogan.
I mean, there's lists. There's lists of them. But that does not mean that we as black people should stay off your black ass neck.
Suntan
Because
pythons.
because there's white racism and white people are not also getting
They weren't good. They weren't good.
villainized.
Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men.
Big Bang
aren't
Theory was so
good.
boring.
They
It's a boring
are
show.
Very, very run-of-the-mill comedies, and they're not that good, and they're super misogynistic, and Leonard is unlikable as you get into the series. And
Is Leonard the one that gave him the little show?
no. That's what's his face? Bazinga guy.
Oh yeah.
Bazinga. Are you kidding me?
Well,
Yeah.
that happened with Chris Brown. He's still probably, I'm sure, tweeting or pressing his Instagram live to talk about these people. But then he got lobbed into another bit of controversy because I was looking on Twitter yesterday, and these British babes, these black British babes who looked very beautiful.
Ooh, BBB.
Yes, these black British babes were leaving a nightclub in London, and they were not let into the club because apparently Chris Brown had said no black girls or no black girls in the VIP section. They were like in the club. They were trying to get into VIP. I think they had paid for it, whatever.
During Black History Month.
And so they were, and this was multiple accounts on Twitter of black girls who were at this venue, like, Chris Brown's not letting us in. So he honestly, like, he's losing on all fronts. He didn't lose, he lost the Grammy. He got 3LW Cheetah Girls coming after him. And now the black British babes are also coming for your neck. And they are honestly super shady. When you mix, like, British people are really shady, but then when you mix, like, the African or Caribbeanness in that's like an extra dollop of shade that is just unmatched. You will not recover.
It'll go right over your head with its dry wit.
Yes.
And you will just be looking stupid.
And, you know, that's it. But this just, Chris Brown just needs to do better. I mean, please go to therapy, please. Slightly related, I don't know why Chloe and Haley just keep getting connected to these annoying
fuck boys.
Yes, because
That seems to be the theme. I don't know.
So Chloe is she's single right now, but Haley is with she is in a relationship with DDG, who's a rapper. Do not know who this rapper is.
DDG.
I could not name a song.
He has that one song.
Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was just being facetious.
But he apparently he used to be in a relationship with or some sort of romantic entanglement with Ruby Rose. Also, do not know who this is, but she's an Instagram girl, I guess. And now Chloe has been lobbed into this Twitter drama because Ruby Rose
Moonwalking in Calabasas? Does that sound familiar?
Never heard of that.
Elon Musk.
That would be even
Bulletproof Maybach.
even less likely that I would be interested
9 lives.
in this. But there's been cheating rumors, and now she is being Ruby Rose is coming after her on Twitter, and of course Haley is such a sweet, young woman that she's just like, don't let the people come for you and God bless. And I just want her to just be like, you know what? We don't need to have these sort of shenanigans. I am gorgeous.
I'm about to be under
I'm
the sea
Little
right now.
Mermaid. I got Disney checks.
I've got Macaulay Culkin. Martha. Who's playing Ursula? Isn't it? Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy
on
yes.
speed dial.
I got Melissa McCarthy on speed.
I have Beyonce on speed dial. DDG wouldn't even be allowed to see Beyonce if Chloe was going over to her house.
DDG without dog.
And so I just want her to stay away from him. I want Chloe to stay away from Chris Brown and any of the likes. I don't know. No one should have allowed this song to come out because they would have known. I know that Kelly, she has shown that, she likes Chris Brown.
Kelly
Rowland.
Oh, Kelly Rowland, yeah.
So she has, a few months ago when he got, the American Choice Award, people were booing him, and she was like, y'all need to calm down. So, whatever, they have their own personal relationship. Never gonna tell someone you can't have your own personal relationship with someone, regardless of what they've done, whatever. So maybe she was just like, it's okay. But I think that you, at this point in your careers, both of you need to stay away from any and all men who are going to drag down your social capita and put you in positions where you're going to have to be defending yourself or having any issues on social media. Yeah. Because it's unnecessary. Let's just continue to reject.
I have not listened to a Chris Brown song in years.
I don't know the last one I listened to, and I mean, honestly, his songs have all sounded the same since he came out with that Doublemint album or whatever, Forever. It just sounds all the same. And, we don't need any more. There's other people to sing with. Bryson Tiller, Giveon.
Don Toliver.
Anybody.
I like Don Toliver.
I like Don Toliver too. So many people, and that could dance. You could find them. All right. Moving on to another hotly contested subject in book Twitter this week. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you are aware of this author, mm-hmm. Ronald Dahl.
Yeah.
Can you name a Ronald Dahl book?
So, I know that's not the real name of fucking Cat in the Hat nigga. Dr. Seuss.
That's not him.
No. He wrote not The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
No, that's C.S. Lewis.
Matilda?
Yes!
I got it right?
You got it right.
There we go.
He did
yes.
Matilda and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, he did Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
I mean, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yes.
So if you know anything about him, he was a British writer. He was very much a man of his time. So he had some very outdated views. Anti-Semitism, fat phobia, racism, sexism, you name it, he's got it, right?
Yes.
And in 2 years ago, the British publisher of the book and a company, now I missed the company, sorry. A company that said, I think they're called Mindful Readers, they decided they wanted to go through the books and update them with language that it's called inclusive minds. They wanted to update the books with language that would make it more inclusive and accessible. So some of the changes are like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They take out the description of Augustus Gloop of being fat. They just call him enormous. And in
which is more, isn't that more descriptive?
I mean,
that's.
They also took out.
If someone called me fat versus someone called me enormous, I feel like enormous is worse.
Enormous is worse. I would personally feel worse about being called enormous.
He's enormous.
They also
big knackers hanging out for your mom to see.
Behave yourself, please. And in The Fabulous Mr. Fox, there was a description of black, murderous, brutal-looking monsters, which described these tractors, and they took out the word black. So there's some other changes that are going around, and there's been just a highly contested debate about whether or not you should remove these kinds of words from books or let them be. And I was curious.
I say let them be. Let books live as they were meant to be created.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you could put a warning on the front of the book, like, hey, there's going to be some shit in here that is of its time, outdated nomenclatures and terms and everything like that. But leave books as
it's
they
like
are.
when they were trying to take nigger out of, what was it, Huckleberry Finn?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want you, don't rewrite what people have said, because if what they said was racist, if it was sexist, if it was transphobic, if it was xenophobic, whatever it is, let it be in there.
That's what they meant at the time. That's what they meant.
And the thing about it is, it's like, remember when we watched, not Pinocchio, when we were watching the old version of not the Never-Ending Story, the one where they go to Never Never Land.
Peter
Pan.
Hook?
Peter Pan, no, the original.
Yeah, the original Peter Pan.
When we watched the original Peter Pan, there is so much terrible shit in there.
They start off Peter Pan with like a Disney Plus brick of text that says, hey, look, listen, this was made during a time when cultural sensitivity was not a thing. Just a heads up, we haven't edited anything around it or anything like that. But just so you know, there's going to be some racist shit. And sure enough, all the Native Americans are referred to as Indians and savages, and they're red, and they have big noses, and they smoke, and, you know.
The black section is known as the savages.
What is it? What makes that red man red? That's the name of the song.
Yes. It was terrible. But
I told you that story about how me and Sam were singing Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
Yes.
And like it was the first, like we were playing it on the thing, and it was the first time I had heard it in like years, and I was just like, yeah, we were just doing a whole Disney melody, and then Everybody Wants to Be a Cat comes up, and then the one section where they make fun of the Asian cat came up, and I was just like, oh, wait, that's right, this isn't here. This is baked into the song. This is baked into the DNA of this movie, that there's just a little Asian cat that's just like fortune cookie, always wrong. I'm not doing the voice.
Please, thank you.
The voice, there is a voice that I'm not doing. But imagine what that voice is, and that's exactly what it is.
Well, I think the thing about it is that we need to be able to understand what times we're like. Like when you watch, what is that movie from slavery?
Amistad?
The Civil War movie.
Glory?
I don't know nothing about Birthing No Babies. Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind, yeah.
When you watch Gone with the Wind, you need to see exactly how Hattie McDaniel's character was being treated. How even whatever the main character, she's like a 14, 15-year-old girl who marries a whatever Confederate soldier and has a baby that died. Like there's so many things about it that are not PC or not good for our cultural times now that everybody would be outraged about, but that shit happened. So you can't stop it, and you can't make it seem like this. To me is like what white people they want to take away things that, whether it's on the far right side with the critical race theory, they don't want anyone to learn about racism, and then on the super far left side, they want to act as if we always lived in some sort of non-racial, non-sexist, whatever utopia, and that is just not true. It's okay if I read a book that says nigger in it, that I'm gonna be like, oh shit. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody in the class who's not a black person can go reading it out loud. You might need to pause and say, well, N-word or something. But at the end of the day, like, it's in the book. We're reading it. And we could know what people were talking about at that time. So, like, Salman Rushdie, he has been pushing back about this because, you know, he had a fatwa put against him in, I think, the 70s when he wrote, I think, the Satanic Verses, and I think it was last year when he almost was murdered at a talk in a school in upstate New York, because people are still trying to kill him for his words, and so he's like, we can't be censoring people, and I think that's true. Not to say that should books be allowed to be written right now where people are being horrible and discriminatory? No. But just leave the books where they are. And if you don't want to read them, don't buy them. And they have, like, I saw the other day, they have, like, a Kids Bop version of Huckleberry Finn. It's one of those, like, here's the story, but it's abridged for all ages.
Yeah.
Go read that version.
Yeah, no. Don't get the Cliff Notes version. Get the down deep in the dirt with fucking Nigga Jim.
Was that really his name?
I think his name was Nigga Jim.
Probably Nigga Jim. It's terrible and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. What's next?
Well, something that is actually an issue that you should be paying attention to because it could impact all of us. This train derailment in New Palestine, Ohio. Did you hear anything about this story?
No, I didn't.
Well, last week, or maybe a little more than last week, on February 3rd, some trains owned by Norfolk Southern, a multi-billion-dollar company. The train was traveling from Madison, Illinois to Conway, Pennsylvania, and 38 cars transporting hazardous materials, or 38 cars derailed. 20 of them were carrying hazardous materials. 11 of them, of the cars filled with materials, derailed. And they were filled with vinyl chloride, and the explosion sent lots of gases like hydrogen chloride and phosgene, a toxic gas.
Also, Texas and Minnesota. This happened.
There's actually been there have been a lot of train derailments. There are generally a lot of train derailments throughout the year, but the rise of train derailments having to do with like the carrying
toxic materials and stuff
is on the rise because there's been a lot of lobbying from these different groups like Norfolk Southern to reduce the amount of money spent on, keeping the trains up to date, or replacing some of these tracks they're on are like Civil War era tracks. All those different things. They've been cutting corners. Norfolk Southern, I think, fired about 9,000 people, I think it said, over the course of the last year. They've been cutting corners, and they have lobbied around, and nothing's happened because they are making, I think when I looked it up, it was $54 billion. They're what they're worth. And guess how much they plan to give to the people of New Palestine in like a 1 mile radius of
zero? Probably nothing.
No, they said they were going to give people $25,000 if you lived in like the 1 mile radius, but not countering in the people who, even if you live 1 mile out, if there's a blast of toxic chemicals that is going into the air, it's going into the water, into the surrounding areas. It's more than just a 1 mile area.
Yeah.
But plenty of people who they said could come back are experiencing different health issues. People have had to put their animals down. They're seeing the water around is contaminated. The animals are dying. It's just like it's a terrible ecological disaster.
Yeah.
Some people have reported that this is like one of the worst ecological disaster we've had.
That is
in
why
the United States in decades.
That is why that would be a downside if there was actually an apocalypse, because no one would be doing any sort of maintenance on these toxic like material like convoys or like housing facilities or anything like
think
that.
about all the
These
nuclear
nuclear
plants we have.
plants that like if society just shuts down, then they're fucking
They're sitting
gonna
there
irradiate radiation.
bubbling.
Yeah, like there's just so much that could go wrong any given way that you think about it, and it's already happening. They're pushing it away with like little pieces of money.
Well, then, and not even little bit, like $25,000 when your company is worth $54 billion is insane.
That's a drop in the bucket.
Because think about the cleanup of the area. One, if the chemicals go into the groundwater, then that water is going to go throughout wherever that water reaches. It's going to touch.
Yeah.
So even though we're in New York City, we may not have the impact from the air, but how do we know that's not going to be in the water?
Yeah.
And even if it can be fixed, are they going to push that money towards it? What about the food in the area? Can they still sell it? How will we know? This feels like an Aaron Brockovich film. Mm-hmm. And there was actually a movie about this. I haven't watched it yet on Netflix called White Noise with Dave. What's his name?
Yes.
What's his name?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. And what's the black guy? What's his name? Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. Yeah.
I was going to call him Dave Chappelle first. But they were in this movie, and apparently it's about apparently that movie is about a chemical spill as well. That happened in a small town. But I just think that we need to really be making sure that the earth that we have currently is the best earth that we could possibly have. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not interested in furthering along our timeline to being in like Tank Girl.
Yeah.
You ever saw Tank Girl?
Yes.
Like, the water's dried up, it's hot as fuck, nobody has access to anything, and I think that we already are dealing with climate change. It was 70 degrees almost this week in New York, which is insanity.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I'm under the weather is because of the
it's up and down,
janking back and forth of weather.
And we just need to say, you know what? Enough. Mm-hmm. That's it. All of these companies, if you are procuring or is disseminating toxic anything, the taxes you have to pay should be so crazy high. The checks and balances so that you're not just dumping shit places. Like, everything should be so much higher for you because you are impacting our livelihood. And regardless of how wealthy you are, at a certain point, you cannot fix chemicals in your water and your food with money. Because those forever chemicals are there forever. There's nothing that doctors have or scientists have figured out to get that shit out. So it doesn't matter how much filters you get. You're just going to be out here dealing with freaking toes growing out your head.
We're on a highway to oblivion.
Did you not see go watch the Oblongs.
The Oblongs.
Go watch the Oblongs, and so that you can have an understanding of what it means to have toxic waste just
down in the
your
valley
water.
with a chemical spill. Came from the people living up on a hill. Chemical fall in their wonder glowing home.
I loved the Oblongs.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
Oh!
That was Will Ferrell. He was the dad, the armless, legless dad.
Oh, okay. Okay, Will Ferrell. Well, we hope that the people... Oh. Sorry, James. I'm recording. I hope that the people in New Palestine and...
Well, yeah, now that's fucked it up.
Is it? Are we back on? do 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 do, and then another do 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 do.
Oh my God! Once we start referencing Family Guy shit, then
Oh man, I forgot that was Family Guy.
That is Family
okay,
Guy,
so
notice I never go back and watch that all the way through.
it's
No.
all right.
No.
But hopefully all the people in the surrounding areas, surrounding states that are dealing with these different ecological disasters are getting all the help they need. We've seen throughout the history of this country that that's probably not going to be what happens. And there will be lawsuits probably in the next 20, 30 years of the people who are still impacted by the terrible actions of this billion-dollar company who's probably going to freaking file for bankruptcy so they don't have to pay anybody. All right, so we're getting to the end of the sad news. This is the last sad piece. Former President Jimmy Carter, who is currently 98 years old.
The Peanut Man himself.
The Peanut Man himself, yes. He is entering hospice and with his family in Georgia. And, you know, it's very sad. He's lived a very long life. And I would say of everything that I know about his presidency, it was one of the least problematic.
Okay.
Of all the living presidents we have, his was one of the least problematic.
Okay.
He was president from 77 to 81. And honestly, he's done a lot of stuff. He's had cancer. He's fallen. He's had, different health issues going up and down. But even still I remember he was building houses for people in places where there were some natural disasters. He's always been very active. I feel like my whole life I've only ever seen him doing stuff. So, a life well lived with also the added problematic part of being an American president. But you did your best and you've tried to continue spreading love and joy as much as you can throughout your life. So I hope that he has a peaceful and joyful.
Maybe he takes up a hobby, learns
transition.
to knit,
He's gonna be at home
or work on one of those 1,000-piece puzzles.
getting he'll have great nurses and great medicine. That
Yes.
being in hospice does not automatically mean that you're just
Crunch up
going
the
to-
pills into applesauce for him. I'm just naming things that old people
Why?
do.
Why?
He's old. He's in hospice. He's old.
Just because you're in hospice.
Just because you're in hospice doesn't mean that you're old.
No.
Is that what you're about to say?
There are non-old people in hospice, but I was saying that just because you're in hospice does not mean that that he won't be able to still be with his family and interact. He'll just, they'll giving him medicine and helping him get through whatever, pain management he needs so that he can have the best quality of life for, until he decides to go on to glory.
Okay.
So
Sure.
shouting out President Carter, thank you for all of you done. And if he's done some terrible things, please do not send those to me because, honestly, not that I don't care.
He's a U.S. president. I'm
But,
sure he's committed some atrocities.
There's
at
no
some point.
president that has not committed
No
war
president
crimes.
that has their hands completely clean.
There's none.
That
So,
just
that's
isn't
just
how that works.
how we're American.
Yeah.
So we know the deal. All right, so on to better things. Do you want to talk about the last one first, or the?
No, let's talk about Rihanna.
Okay, your Bayesian queen.
Yes, she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Let's just say that she had an amazing concert / baby shower at the Super Bowl.
Folks, where's the lie?
I'm just very grateful for her. They put out. She had a beautiful spread and cover with British Vogue this past week. The family just looks so cute. And she said when they were shooting when they were doing the photo shoot, she didn't realize she was pregnant at that time.
I want to normalize women of color doing excellent things while pregnant.
Yes.
Yes.
Or doing mediocre things while pregnant. Just looking radiant and glorious while pregnant and just being like, you're going to have to deal with it.
Did you see the Amy Schumer comedy special when she was pregnant?
Ugh.
It came after Ali Wong had done it twice.
And
I'm just like, no, this is some mediocre bullshit.
I mean, she's very mediocre.
Yeah. Just like mashed potatoes.
Ugh. Disgust. But she had some lovely things to say about her and A$AP Rocky. She said, we're best friends with the baby. We have to be the same page, but we have to be on the same page, but we've always kind of had that in our relationship. Everything changes when you have a baby, but I wouldn't say it's done anything but made us closer. So that's very nice to hear. You know, I would not have chosen A$AP Rocky for her. I feel like all of her fans were very confused. But if she loves him and he
seems like an okay guy,
treating her right,
did a stint in Sweden and then came back and has the baddest woman on the planet.
On the planet, yeah, it's true. He's on the come up.
Yeah,
he's on the come up. You know what? He and Jay-Z both.
He's come a long way from Harlem.
You know, they just found these gorgeous, amazing, talented women. And they have children, and now here we are.
Just saying, New York dudes, they got swag.
One thing that was very weird is these Foteps and Manosphere guys have taken the picture of Rihanna and A$AP and their baby that's on the cover of Vogue, and they have been doing some like Fotep equations on them, like, look at the way her body's leaning forward and his is in the back and he's kissing the baby, so you know he's simping. And I'm just like, who the fuck has this much time on their hands? And also, simping is a stupid word / phrase. Being romantic with someone that you like is not simping. And if you guys keep trying to fuck the lead cheerleader and giving her all time attention and money, and she's just like, thanks, but I was never going out with you, that's your problem. Stop it. It's stupid and you sound ridiculous. Oh my God, this man loves his child and his partner. Oh, I can't believe it. They're feminizing men. Go eat a dick.
Simpin' ain't easy.
It's very frustrating. And I feel like it just makes all these young guys who are seeing all these commentary, it is just completely disturbing their worldview on relationships, because they have to continue to wade through the garbage. Did you not listen to music from our grandparents' era? Those men were in fucking love and said it all the time. That wasn't simping. It's just, I like you, I'm telling you, and I'm showing you. It's not a bad concept. Clearly why all of y'all are single and sleeping with body pillows. But, fuck you.
Fuck you.
All right, our last thing before we...
Yeah, we can move that into a different section.
Later? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're going to take a quick break, because we're about to get cut off.
Yes.
And we will be back with our mental health section, things that are annoying us, and what's making us happy this week.
Stay tuned for more of the Black and Snurdy podcast.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
This may be the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are close. This might be the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. I'm not doing the fucking...
Love. Let's talk about love.
And everything you hope for. Or who do you feel it haunt you? Haunt. I know the feeling haunt you. Haunt. This might be the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. Stars closer. Okay, enough. That's enough
You
of
can't
that.
just sing the one little line. You had to go more in there.
We watched Black Panther last night.
Still holds up.
Still good.
Still amazing.
Still almost perfect. If it
Still
wasn't for those
almost
fucking
perfect.
rhinos.
I
Those
like
bad
those rhinos.
CGI rhinos. Those CGI rhinos are bad. That's some bad CGI with these fucking rhinos.
At least they weren't bleeding.
At
like
least,
those fucking goats.
at least the rhinos weren't in the second movie.
And
Notice that
weren't-
they took that note. They're like, all right, no rhinos for the second movie. Fucking rhinos. Like, oh, are you kidding me? Rhinos.
liked
Battle
it.
rhinos.
I liked
Where were they in Avengers?
Didn't they have the goats in Avengers?
What goats?
Those yelling goats.
That was in Thor.
That was the
4.
only movie that they were in. I
Yeah.
thought they were in another movie. They just
No.
weren't yelling.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they did that for one fucking movie. And it was a bad movie to do that for, too. But that's neither here nor there. It is time for our mental health section. This is a section where we, as
Mental health
advocates, not experts, check in with each other to see how we're doing. And we started off with a question.
A question.
Yes.
Do you look more often for the tragedy in comedy or the comedy in tragedy?
Oh, definitely the That's a good thing. Because like recently I've been watching, not recently. Like I go through and I watch a lot of like sitcoms and animated stuff and stuff. But relatively recently, I've been going through. I've been like, well, this is really dark or fucked up or something. Like it was like when we were watching Metalocalypse, and I was just like, I was going through and I was just like, it's actually like they really should be applauded for the creativity that went into making such a brutal show. Like, yeah, there's death and gore and all this nonsense that happens, but like the comedy is fucking there. Like it's good, it's funny as hell. The music is incredible for what it is, death metal and stuff. But there are elements of it that's just like, well, they're making fun of rock and roll life. And part of that is also making fun of the fact that an inordinate amount of white rock stars tend to love up on underage women.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like that there's probably like a few rock songs that are just based off of 14-year-old girls.
Sweet Caroline. Oh, it's not a rock song, but
Yeah, it is. It might as well be like
We
Sweet
paid-
Caroline is based on a 14-year-old girl.
it's like yes. We did that in my middle school band. I played that on clarinet.
Caroline.
Yeah,
White people love mess.
they do.
And that reminded me the other day when I was with J and F, I'll call them. She was just like, "Oh yeah, he's so progressive when it comes to his music choices. He won't even listen to Michael Jackson." And I'm just like,
Hey, they're white. What do you expect? I don't know. No, there's no such thing as a white progressive rocker. Just know that they were all doing lots of drugs.
they were fucking up, and they were doing.
misogynistic and pretty rapey. I mean, but there's no one likes to talk about people bad after they die. But I don't think it's bad to tell the truth about someone if they're passed.
Yeah.
It has come out after Bowie died. Several stories came out about him and underage girls. In both his when he was in the band, I forget the name of the band, but when he was in the band and when he was solo. But does that mean that you don't like his music anymore? Like it happened. Like either you decide for yourself whether you're gonna listen to it or not, and then continue on. The same.
I will say, Michael Jackson. This is a weird line that I'm walking on.
We'll listen to it.
What I'm saying is, his music is not super duper entrenched in what may or may not have been happening.
Yes.
like in his real life.
Yeah.
Not like R. Kelly.
Yes, I think that is also.
I cannot listen to an R. Kelly song because literally after all these documentaries and everything like that, how can I go back and listen to I Believe I Can Fly knowing that he was fucking Aaliyah underneath a fucking Space Jam
Disgusting.
poster? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like how can I listen to R. Kelly when half of his songs are trying to lure somebody into sex?
They're like dictating his actions.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing is, there are plenty of people who will not listen to Michael Jackson. They won't listen to R. Kelly. They won't listen to all these people. That's fine. Don't listen to them, or do and just don't tell us. Because I hate when someone's like, well, I still listen to R. Kelly. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care if you listen to R. Kelly.
We don't need to know it.
Just don't put it on at the barbecue.
Please.
Or-
Because then I'm going to make somebody upset because I'm
Where
going
all
to be
the
like,
mice
turn
is
it
be.
off. Is that, okay, so that was your answer. That
Yeah.
So you feel like you look for the comedy in tragedy?
I look for the comedy and tragedy.
I would say I also look for the comedy in tragedy.
I'm very inappropriate.
Because I feel like, well, even when there's like shitty things happening, sometimes it's like dark humor. It's like it's really terrible what's going on, but like, okay,
There could be some catharsis that comes from
so
looking at
here's
tragic shit and
here's a perfect example.
making a joke out of it.
At my aunt's funeral
Okay.
in London, we had a dove release,
Yeah.
right?
Did one of the doves die?
No, one of the doves didn't die. But so it was my 3 cousins holding the doves and my uncle.
Where did they go? Did they come back?
If you would wait
Sorry.
for me to
All right.
finish,
My bad. Sorry.
you'll find everything.
I've always
else.
wondered, like, when in all of those like dove
They
releases,
come
like,
back, yeah,
okay,
they're trained doves.
okay, they're trained. Okay,
So
okay.
they're all holding the doves and we're all looking. It's beautiful. Like, we're all emotional. And when they go to release the doves, my cousin, she was like, because she was like nervous the dove was gonna like hurt her, and it was like kind of like pecking her a little bit, so she was kind of holding it a little bit tight. So when she went like this, I guess its arm was a little tired, so it just like dropped onto the ground, and it's like my cousin's wife is like running after the dove to try to get her, and the dove is just walking around, eluding her, and so we're just like, all right, well, she'll find her way back. And that was a moment where, like, we literally, like, where everyone's crying, weeping, everything, and then you couldn't help because we were like, it was hilarious. And when we look back at the video, we could not help but burst out in just joyful laughter, because that was a moment, you know, and like, and I was just like, I know my Auntie Meg wouldn't have a party without there being some sort of shenanigans that would like lift the mood, and that's just like, that's how I took it. And it's like you finding the comedy and tragedy, because at the end of the day, there's no time that funny shit is gonna stop happening.
Yeah, funny shit's always gonna happen.
It happens all the time. Someone's gonna fart or burp randomly in the middle of a
I want somebody to fart at my funeral, like a loud, guttural, just beefy one. You know, like that, like, you know, like you try to like slip one out and hope it goes undetected, but like it's particularly potent. And like then everyone in the area makes a comment, and then you have to just be there and be like, "Oh, what was that? Oh, that felt like a solid."
I think we have to just be able to find the duality in all moments. Like sometimes when you're doing something super romantic, something is like gonna go awry, and it's gonna not be as like super sweet. It might end up just being hilarious. Anything. You just have to be able to find the joy in moments, because we live in a world where terrible shit happens every day. And if you can't find the joy in moments or the comedy in these moments at times, it just will bring you down.
Yes.
So I'm always, I will prepare myself for the worst, but I always want to be prepared for the best and always be ready to, like, smile or joke, like, you know, add some levity in when it's appropriate.
I promise I will bring levity at your funeral.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And I will fart at yours.
Well, it's going to be tough to do because you're going to die before me.
I will definitely not.
No.
I'm
You're not
100%.
outliving me.
I'm 100%.
Absolutely not.
I'm 100%.
No,
outliving
you're not.
you. I'm definitely going to.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I don't know why you wouldn't think I would.
People write in. Who's going to outlive who? The one who's always outside going into danger and everything like that, or the one who's inside?
I'm not outside going into danger.
Yeah, you are.
What danger am I going
Them
into?
gays in Manhattan are going to fucking kill you. You're going to be sacrificed to the beast of...
Of Beyonce?
No, you're going to be to the beast of every black gay advocate from the 50s and 30s. You know? Moms Mableys and shit.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that was our first question. Well, that was our only question. But tell me, how are you doing this week? How's your mental health been? How's it going for you?
My mental health has been a bit down. Not I wouldn't say not into blue period territories, but I'm sick.
Yes.
All right, so there's
It always
that.
makes you a bit cranky.
But also just like work has been beating the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I have the next few weeks are gonna be shit because we have reviews. Mm-hmm. This week has been reviews and juggling people's emotions and feelings and shit. You know, having to deliver messages and on other more senior people's behalf has taken a toll on me. You know, and I have been left drained like a husk. That's why I'm happy that there has been this 2-day, this 3-day weekend.
For you.
Oh, yeah, for me, because...
I don't get that.
Well, you get paid significantly more than me.
That's not significant.
It is.
Anyway.
It is so significant. You showed me your refund. You showed me your tax refund, and I was like, I bust a nut. Like, I bust a nut on your behalf because I was like, holy shit. That dwarfs mine by 3. And I'm just like, hopefully I can get a vacation out of my refund. You're over here just like, yeah.
That's not at all.
Got my money back.
No. It's
because I make so much money.
Not how I feel at all.
I got so much money and made so much money and got so much money.
Can we continue on?
Call a spade a spade.
How are you feeling? You're feeling in the
Got
doldrums.
it back in a special card.
You're not feeling well. You're tired of work.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, like, I have no complaints. I think maybe in a month or 2, I might go back to therapy.
I think that would be a good idea.
Just as a check-in.
Yeah.
Just to see how it's going. It just depends on the next couple weeks, what my compensation do. Mm-hmm. If they tell me that I'm inadequate.
Well, you're not.
Yeah. First off, in this meeting that we're going to ultimately end up having for compensation adjustments and shit, if, like, I'm just hoping for a successful.
You're...
I know I'm more than that, but, like, based on their, like, they're really taking their criteria to heart. And they're just like, oh, if you're outstanding, then you should be getting promoted, and blah, 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 blah. If you exceed, then that means you're blah, 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 blah. Successful's not a bad term. And I'm just like, watch these niggas call me inconsistent. I wish they would. I wish they would. I wish these motherfuckers would.
You're amazing. You do a great job. You always do your best.
My team loves me.
Your team loves you.
Yeah. Wow. So. Yeah. How about you? How's your week?
I would say my week has been pretty good. I finally got back to therapy this week because last week my therapist was out. And yeah, I mean, we talked about some things that have just been ongoing that I've been asking for her help with. And I feel like I'm grateful for therapy because I feel like I'm allowing myself to be more vulnerable, which is good. Even when things are uncomfortable. And I'm just working on doing even more uncomfortable things all the time.
Right.
But otherwise, I feel like things have generally been good. I feel like I'm a little stressed with work, but I mean, that's usual. And I'm looking forward to getting on meds because I feel like that.
Me too.
Extra good.
Not in a bad way. I just meant like
Yes, no,
they're fun. It's fun to be on.
It's good to be on. I'm looking.
It's
forward
good to be
on
consistent.
it. Yes, and I have not been on meds now in about, I feel like really since like 2019, because the ones I was on in 2020 were not working at all, which is very frustrating. Because when you could look at your life when you are on meds and how certain things are just going very well, like just my mood in general, like my decision making and all that, like all those things are impacted by the lack of medicine. Also environment. It's my environment and the medicine. It's both. Because if I'm in an environment where I am feeling like nurtured and supported and all that, then my mental health is already going to be better. And then if I don't have like extra stressors, like people being, mean to me or chastising me constantly and things like that definitely impacts. Ooh, that did be light. That definitely impacts my mental health. So I'm grateful that, the first part, or in 2020, in 2021, I was both not medicated, nor was I in a great, work environment and just, space, so it was difficult. And now that I'm not in that space anymore, and my therapy's been going really well, I feel like adding on the meds is just like a little cherry on top.
There you go.
That I'm looking forward to. But other than that, I feel like this week has been pretty good.
That's good to hear.
All right, you ready to go to the next little section?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And we start the section, which is called Gripes, right here.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
So, I fuck sicknesses. Fuck
Yes.
illnesses.
Yes.
Fuck colds.
Yes.
All right?
You're the worst.
It has been a bitch to have to deal with. I hate it. I hate oscillating between too hot and too cold. I hate opening and closing windows. I hate taking zinc in the form of gummies because they only put 3 red gummies in there and it's rested yellow and orange. I'm just like, those are the worst Starburst colors, flavors. I also hate. Okay. I think white men in power at corporate companies need to fucking relax.
Yes.
I think that they are used to, doing the bare minimum of passing off a personality, and that automatically got them likes. I don't think they try hard to actually ingratiate themselves.
Yeah.
And therefore, at the wee sign of a tone
Yeah.
they get fucking in their fifis.
But also it's like it's like a weird jealousy about like, oh, well, they like this person, but they don't really like me. But I feel like it's if someone has told you on multiple occasions, hey, this thing that you're doing, you know, whether it's not using gender neutral terminology or mispronouncing someone's name. Or, you know, micromanaging in a style that just is not conducive to team morale. And you continue to do it, I don't really know what else you would be expecting.
Yeah, I don't like it's the mark of insanity to constantly do the same things over and over again in hope that there's a different outcome. It's a style of insanity. Just turn your feelings off. You're making a shit ton of money. You make way more money. Oh, sorry. I'm speaking hypothetically, of course. Individuals are making managerial money, like department head money, you know? Overseer money. So, if you're making that money, that definitely should offset any hard feelings that you might have with the rest of the department not liking you. And that's okay if the department doesn't like
But
you.
if they don't like
Don't
you,
rope me into...
figure out why don't you look into yourself and be like, what's the issue? Let me instead of taking these reviews and just being like, oh, my fifis are hurt. What are these people saying in these reviews? What could I do to change the impact of this? Because I don't want there to be strife between the people on my team. It's weird to have, it's weird to have you in a meeting with someone about somebody else's feelings that it's not theirs. And it's also weird to try and penalize people for not liking you.
Yeah. Also, side note, Brennan, you need to fucking chill the fuck out when coming at Cole. Because Brennan has nothing to do with this war on Cole other than the fact that his wife is friends with Zaynab, and Zaynab has a whole anti-Cole thing. And Cole look, I'm not defending Cole, but he's being painted worse than he actually was being shown. I will
say that Zay is definitely, she is a liar a little bit. Now, I'm only going
off of what this program showed me.
We can only go with what we've seen.
And what I show is he's just a benign white dude.
He's just a bro.
He's a bro.
Now, like I've said before,
he's had moments where he was out of pocket, but
know for sure the whole telling her that other girls were hot or whatever and all that the first 2 episodes of them, that was the worst.
Yeah.
He was an idiot and he should have just shut up.
But
everything after that,
by all accounts, like it seemed like Cole was just he
was just there.
He was just there.
And Zay, I don't know. She brought that cuties thing. That pissed me off because you having me over here capping for you, and for what? For no reason. It's like you were.
And I just think Alexa and Brennan are trying so hard to be Lauren and Conrad. What's his name?
No, it's
Cameron. Yeah, because he rapped like.
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Like and Brennan is just like a nothing person. Like he has no personality except for whatever.
He's a cowboy.
Yeah,
cowboy baby.
Like he should be going after Alexa's father because Alexa's father be throwing all sorts of shade.
Yes.
Like he throws shade, he makes fun of him, he puts him down, and meanwhile he's over here getting into fucking other motherfuckers' faces. It's ridiculous.
That show, shenanigans.
Yeah. Finally, WWE, you broke my fucking heart.
That was terrible.
It was a great match
It was.
At Elimination Chamber. I'm specifically talking about Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. God, that match was perfect.
It was good.
I actually wanted to get up early and watch it back again, but I forgot to, and because I've been tired and sick all weekend, like I didn't have enough time. Like I was gonna put it on while we were recording the podcast. Like it was a perfect underdog story.
It was great.
But like now my fear is that WWE didn't capitalize off of the Sami Zayn love, like that the crowd has for Sami Zayn in Montreal, in his hometown, in front of his wife and kids.
But I think that the way that they made up for it was like, of course, because, well, first of all, Sami would have won if they hadn't knocked out the ref.
The ref twice. 2 ref bumps. Bullshit.
Now, he would have won, but I think that, like, the way that...
He had the visual pin.
The way that Roman won was, like, very cheaty. Because he's a cheater, and we know he's a cheater.
He told Jimmy to stay home, but then Jimmy came out to fucking kick, super kicking frog splash.
Oh my God, when Jay showed up.
And Jay was defending Sami Zayn. He was like, don't hit him with the chair. And then Sami Zayn ended up spearing Jay.
But it was an accident.
By accident.
But I know
this is such a good
It was
story.
a great show. But even though Roman won the match through the cheating, it was great that afterwards that KO came out, helped him out, and that he and Sami got to beat up on Roman and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was the vindication, and that was me of showing like
He didn't
Montreal,
win the belt though.
He didn't win the belt, but he won.
He got
his
to
honor.
stand. He got to stand
He
tall
got
in
his
Montreal.
honor. And I feel like that was because they were never going to give it to Sami.
It was much. Yeah, they were never going to give it.
But
to Sami.
this was a great show because we it wasn't like Roman didn't knock him out in like the first round.
Yeah,
Sami got him pinned at least 2 or 3 times before he did. So it was just like a very long. It was even though it was
now I kind of want to stand and watch. I know that that's not what we're doing.
But even though
we gotta
it
go to
was
Royal
not,
Palms to hang out with Keith.
Happy birthday, Keith!
Happy birthday, Keith!
Even though it was a long match, there are sometimes those matches that are like maybe 5 minutes, and I'm just like, ugh, when is this gonna be over? Because it's just boring.
With the entrances and stuff, it took
like 20 minutes, right?
No, I think it was longer.
It felt like a long time that they were going back and forth, but I thought it was good. It didn't feel like it was crazy long.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was crazy long.
It was just like it was tense. We were like, who's going to have it?
The crowd were on Sami Zayn's side.
The crowd was
they
on
kept
Sami's
chanting,
side.
like, they went through all cycles of chants. They were like, thank you, Sami. And they were,
fuck you,
ole,
Roman.
ole, ole, fuck you, Roman. And
was one of the Roman sucks?
Yeah, Roman sucks.
Yeah, I but I feel like this added to Sami having the love of the crowd. Because I feel like even outside of Montreal, people are going to be like, Sami's got heart. He went for it. And he pinned Roman Reigns, even though the ref wasn't there. He pinned him. He got him down on the ropes. He was afraid. He didn't know if he was going to make it. And I feel like that to me showed that Sami is due all of his flowers for what he did because he did a great job.
Yes, agreed. But yeah, that still broke my heart when Sami lost.
Yeah.
So like that's still, I'm like, man, y'all gotta make this man lose
in front of his wife and
children.
Family's there.
All of Canada showed up to see Sami.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, it was.
But it was still. I mean, it was good, even though I was sad.
Yeah.
Are there anything else that was pissing you off this week? Cookie. She didn't pee on anything.
She doesn't poop.
She doesn't. She's not a good pooper.
This dog is not a good pooper.
Which is weird, because usually when I walk Brooklyn, first 5 minutes, he's done. In and out. You gotta take her around a freaking 20 minutes before she.
And the fact that this dog is so like needy a little bit, like she makes it clear, hey, I'm ready to go outside by like stepping up on you and then just like scratching you. And I'm just like, you basic, you don't do anything all day.
She's so cute. Cookie, come here, Cookie. Come here. Let the people see how cute you are. Come here. Come on.
And this old bitch is probably like, how old do you think this dog is?
I feel like she's like 5 or 7. She might be like 7.
She's like an old dog.
Look how cute she is.
All right, get her away from me.
She's the best dog. Look at how she's looking at you. She's so cute.
If she had Rottweiler in her, maybe I'd love her more.
Say, I'm a good girl. Look at her little face.
Okay, get her out of here.
All right. Bye, Cookie.
What's upsetting you?
The general state of affairs of the world. But I will say that, I'm not going to give any specifics. But I think that just because a holiday is not important to you does not mean that it's not an important holiday that should be recognized for everyone. And you, as a person, if it's a holiday that commemorates a certain religion or ethnic group or whatever, if you're a part of that and you decide you don't want to celebrate, that's fine. No problem with that. But you have to be careful when you say that type of thing in front of mixed company, because they're going to use that to validate why they are not doing what they're supposed to do in making sure that those days are recognized, So I feel like that pisses me off, because I feel like it makes me have to do more work in educating folks and talking about things. And just, we're always trying to get just a little inch as Black people. We just need 1 inch, because so many things have been taken away from us. And I feel like we shouldn't make that harder, regardless of what you think. So I feel like that's it. That's my main thing making me annoyed this week, because I just feel like I have to do extra work because other people and their opinions. And I don't like that.
That's fair.
Are you ready for the RIPs?
Yes, let's get the RPs
out of the way. Do we have any
shit? Sorry.
Something.
Sorry.
Here's a little something. Every week, not every week, but most weeks, we like to honor those who have left us too soon and become honorable ancestors.
I'm not paying for YouTube Red, okay? So sorry, the commercials are gonna play, but I'm not paying for YouTube Red. I got my card stolen, my identity and stuff stolen not too long ago, so I'm not paying for that shit.
Do not need to pay for it. Okay, so first we have to shout out the original, I don't know, well, you couldn't call her a blonde bombshell, but
well, this headline is crazy.
Yes. Raquel Welch, who was an actress and sex symbol, passed away this week at 82 years old. She was known for her work in The Three Musketeers in 1973, and has gone on to be in many TV and film and theater works. What I didn't know from this article that I found out about, that she was Latina. Her father was a Bolivian-born aeronautics engineer, and her mother was could trace her family back to the Mayflowers. So she had a very interesting background. But she notably did not talk about her ethnicity really until like the late 90s, 2000s when she started talking about it more, because obviously even if you're a white passing person, having any sort of non-whiteness in you can get you blackballed. So that wasn't something that she spoke about a lot, but it is a part of her legacy. And, you know, she was a beautiful woman. She was always, I feel like even in her older age, she used to play sex symbols in movies. And so, you know, we are sending love and thoughts to her family. And also, now this one I would say definitely hurt my heart when I found out today that Richard Belzer, the comedian and actor, best known for playing in Law and Order
As
SVU,
Munch.
Detective John Munch.
That nigga Munch. I'm sorry. My apologies. I couldn't.
Are you finding the comedy and tragedy?
I'm finding the comedy and tragedy.
Yes, he was Detective John Munch in Law and Order SVU for more than 2 decades.
Yes.
He passed away this weekend in his home in France due to some health issues. And I think he was just such a great character. I mean, he was funny. He would always...
He bounced off of Ice-T very well.
Oh, yeah. It was a great back and forth that they had. And you used to see him kind of in everything. So I hope that they'll do something to say goodbye to him on the show, because he was definitely an integral part of it. But we're sending all of our love to both Raquel Welch and
Richard
Belzer's family, because it doesn't matter how old you are, losing someone that you're close to is never easy.
Right.
And yeah, so that's it. That's all we got for this week. Oh, well, we also have to give a mention to there was various shootings this week in Texas, in Michigan, I'm sure in other parts of the country, and many young people have lost their lives. So we, of course, just have to continue to advocate for those who no longer can, and, you know, push the gun laws, write your congressman, talk to someone, because at this point, I mean, it's a near daily occurrence where people are losing their lives when they don't need to. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready to talk about what made us happy this week and head on out?
I am absolutely ready for that. Oh, wrong thing. Fade that out.
I'm the
Baby merchant.
tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
All right. What's making you happy this week?
Well, one, spending time with you, doing this podcast has made me very happy. Playing Risk.
Yes.
Our Risk drinking game was very
It was fun.
And I did not think it was going to be.
I didn't think rule-wise, like, I'm surprised that we made it through the end.
I don't even know how long we were playing it.
Well, we had a back-to-back drinking game. We
That's
had
true.
SmackDown and Risk.
We did.
So,
It was fun. But that was a good one. Those were good-
that
those were
really
good
was.
games.
I mean, look, we made it through this fucking
That's true.
thing.
Made it through the leader.
Yeah. Follow the leader.
Leader.
I would say that my new strategy is helping me to
What is
win.
your new strategy?
I'm not telling you what it is. It just it leads me to more victories, and I have categorically had more victories than losses since I've changed my strategy.
Well, I'm going to have to really be paying attention to you now because I'm trying to figure out what this new strategy is.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what it is,
look,
but-
if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. If you don't, you don't.
What else has made me happy this week? We've been playing Uno in my team meetings at work.
Yes, I hear.
It's fun. It's light. It opens up the meeting in a cool way. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. Next time I go on a trip, I'm going to send you the thing so we can play Uno.
No, not playing online Uno.
Online Uno. We're going to do it. But I feel like that's it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've had lots of moments of joy this week. But I've just been enjoying sitting my ass inside.
I have also been enjoying sitting my ass inside. Like, it's a real joy. Once we're done here, I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, it's fine. We're gonna discuss how long we're gonna be out, but it's fine. We're going for Keith's birthday.
Happy birthday, Keith.
Shout out to Keith. Shout out to Mulaney.
Happy birthday, Mulaney.
Both had birthdays on the same day. Both are indispensable friends in the corporation that is Maurice. I appreciate them. So their birthdays made me happy. Watching Cookie has made me happy on some level. I will.
Cute.
Cookie's cool. Cookie's cool.
Cookie's cool.
Yeah. And doing this podcast with you has been fun. I've been sick. So sorry that there haven't been a lot of
That's
things
enough.
to glean to
That's
when
enough.
it comes to the good shit. But yeah, no, we even in my sickness, you've helped me out. I appreciate you coming in clutch with the zinc and everything. So the kitchen sink. But no, I appreciate that. So yeah, that has made my week less sucky.
Well, thank you.
All right, fantastic. Shall we get the fuck out of here?
Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.